Okay, George Global coming at you here with video resume number 4, I think this one is. And, I want to make the jump for you. I mean, I could go customer service, I could go operating. I think I covered a lot of that in my general labor or even my work history. I mean, I might have left out a couple: Butch's Haynes, carpentry, doing concrete forms for Dan. I think his last name is Oysterhout. A lot of these stuff is off the books, and I just consider that, again, swag incorporated stuff. You're learning more of the basic skills as a number 2 position. You know, pro vet, owner of the company. Sometimes there's a manager in there or a pro vet, and you're somewheres down there taking on the 2 position for the manager that's all broken up, and a boss is doing something, or just a boss is doing the paperwork and maybe doing some stuff, because it is a big breakdown. And just do that as well. I don't mind criticism. I don't mind. Usually I take it on the chin is the best way I'll tell you. I'm not going to say I haven't broken equipment, but usually I'm pretty apt to tell you. I know the mechanics of a thing. A lot of this, again, is quantum mechanics. This really in-depth system, but you don't know that stuff until you know it, and I'll take it on the chin first. Machines break. That's what I'll tell you. You can't ask me to grind so hard that, stuff's going to go, but there is not even a fine line. You know when stuff broke because you've been cranking it. Shovels break. Drills probably shouldn't. Batteries that don't get charged. And just how I like to describe it, the psychology of what I'm talking about here. With that said, I'd rather you just come to me. Just come to me, because, yeah, I don't know if we'll do psychology right now. Later, I'll do a psychology one, because it's a foreman skill, or just a general resume if you want to be a psychologist, a mental health professional, or calming somebody down because they're all in the workplace or in life. It's knowing when to do all this quantum mechanics, and knowing the forms and frames of reference and the resistances. Social liberty will come up later, but I wanted to talk about, when you're dealing directly with the boss, I'd rather the boss come right to me, because I've had managers kind of go around, tell a manager, something like that. And I know that's not my position, and you might be training somebody to do that. But again, for me, it's I've had it happen enough where I'll just say it, come right to me. My biggest one was a stone that was totally screwed up. It wasn't that I screwed it up, but it was completely blackjack, and the boss wants to make that happen. And you could waste 2 days on that stone, or you could just look at me and I could run the entire block, and wherever you run that block that was parallel to it. And I know those things don't seem relative, but they are for other things. I'll tell you, this block, no good. I know you're listening to the manager. I'm running that material. Don't be screaming and yelling at the manager. That's one thing I'll tell you. There are two ways to do a thing. Screaming and yelling ain't one of them. I won't give you that. I've never screamed and yelled at a boss since my first job. I'm not gonna say I haven't haven't gotten into it, but that's not how you do the mechanics. I'm not gonna say I learned that. That's just not how you do it. There's a sensible timeline, just like working a product, of how to do things efficiently. That's not one of them. I don't like companies where they do that either. Around me, talk to the manager, bring me in on it, make sure I'm in the room close enough to hear it so I know what's going on too, if I can, if I'm not doing something different. But again, with that blackjack, I can tell you right now, I've been working this product. Every single stone has jack in it. You're not going to make it out of this. It's not worth our time and energy. You could scream and yell at the manager for picking a bad block when that's what you gave that manager to give me. It's not going to get anything done. You got extra guys. Don't yell at a manager because the crew isn't done doing what they're supposed to do. Just as a boss, if I'm in that room, please, everybody, time to clean up. Just grab it, grab the hammer, grab the shovel. Even if you don't actually have to grab the shovel, but I hope you understand, grab the shovel and start scooping. It just gets it done faster. It's more efficient. I know it's training, but again, back to do both. It's one of those things that I've learned to it gets the job done so much faster. And again, with the learning aspect of it, the learning curve, that you want it to show done right. You don't necessarily want to tell it and use mental telepathy or masonry skills, picking up blocks with your mind to be able to do this. You want to be able to use direct physics, and doing is better than explaining. And to do both at the same time is, again, this special generalizing relativity. So you're a general that's handing it off, and again, that's one of those big things with it. Not going to be around forever. You want these skills to be learned off, but at the same time, you want to maintain control of the company. I get authority, I get chain of command, I get command directives, I get the need for those things, and even doing something a very specific way, even though that's not my way, not my company, not my bills, not my insurance. That is the hard line. String theory. That is the ruler that measures the inch on all this stuff, and not subject to be bent in this form. Maybe a ruler doing some different type of measurements where you need a different tool, but at least not for me when it comes to that. And hopefully on the other side of it, hey, I get it. You deal with Murphy all day, with chasing the rabbit and crew members and things like that. I've been there. Again, in the next couple, we talk about pay, and we talk about some of those other problems that may come up on the work site. You'd be amazed how much this can be handled. My biggest rule of thumb is stupid is what gets you fired. I've seen a lot of things. We're not going to talk about them in terms of legal tendencies and things you might do at home or not do at home, but there's a time and a place for some of that stuff. And again, stupid gets you fired more than anything. You can perform, and the numbers are the numbers, and when asked to pick it up a little bit more, just because, there's me, it's you, I'm not doing this to make more out of you. Doing it because the job's got to get done and nobody gets paid. There's fines and penalties. Hey, I've been there. I've been there. Big companies that behind the eight ball. I've asked to do overtime myself. Mandatory overtime was a thing. Yeah, it kind of may, we'll get into it, but I've always signed off yes. I might have that conversation with you about how you're conducting yourself, or why people aren't staying, or why people are going, and, the workload and stuff like that. Because at the end of the day, that's really what they want. It might not be me personal, because I get it. But, IWC, again, one of their biggest product orders ever. Devonian was another big one there. When you start working 70s, I've had companies, write me up for taking a Sunday off when they didn't ask me to come in. I'll leave. We don't need to argue about this. Here's my week's notice, and I won't come back. It's one of those things. And I wish I could tell you that there's a two, but I know you do that once to me, you'll do it again. So I like to put that out here out front, and at least it'll let you know. Be honest with me up front, and I'm going to be honest with you. Ask around about Jordan. We'll start there with it. Even when I got arrested, I'll tell you everything. I ain't got nothing to hide. No reason to lie here. I'll take it like a man. That does come up important here, I will tell you. Given the opportunity, I'd be burning bud. I'm on probation right now. I'm a grower. I'm good at it, from what I hear. But again, I'm on probation with it, so it's 3 years. I respect the law. I might not respect everybody who doesn't understand it fully personally, but that's not the position given. Position is the position. You got to respect that authority, because if you don't have order, Newtonian or general relativity, everything falls apart and you have chaos theory. And you can't have that. Chaos, terrorism, and all kinds of crazy jive like Trump and Hillary. But with that being said, I break down psychology. It's one of my lectures with a piece of corn. I used to do it with my STEM lab for STEM seed, STEM swag, swag incorporated for growing the ganj there. But again, I'm on probation right now, so I get tested. You don't have to worry about that coming up on the option list. As long as I'm working, probation says that they'll be cool with me, so I'll take it on faith. That's what it is. And I've never much broken. I don't go out. I don't drink. I don't hang out with. I'm more of a circle of one. Generals have to do what generals have to do. But I can take a corn plant, a tomato plant, and explain to you psychology. It's again this photon box. You may not think that your life matters to growing corn, but if you're going out and you don't have a regimen, you don't have an order, you don't have a general level of the frames and equations that go into it, your corn's not going to grow as well. Take your home life or substance abuse or bipolar conditions. When you're jumping all over the place, here's your plant, your business platform. Your plant's not going to grow as well. You and this company aren't going to grow as well. It's just first to be aware of it, have the analyzation of what psychology is really about. It's about analyzing the human condition, or anthropology, basically science or physics. If you understand those equations, well, I'm a Mason. Okay, Stone Man. This is telepathy when you start writing command directives. You're asking somebody else to pick up that board for you and run that piece of machinery just like this, governing those systems. You have to be able to do that yourself. That's usually what I would explain. I've never had much of the authority or the position for OSHA safety standards or a manager's authority or a probation officer, but I get it. That's why usually you do well, or you shouldn't have any conflicting object other than having to drive up there every week for whatever time period it is, or having a boss have to be cool with a probation officer piss testing you during the job. You don't lie, you don't have anything to remember. It's standard physics of the order of the operation. Pretty straightforward. But again, psychology goes from this very small seed element. Here's you're backtracking, figuring out the points, altering courses of a thing, changing the, here's that corn, it's this piece of corn or this type of corn from seed. You're letting it grow a little bit. You're watching it for a little while, tracking the irrational numbers. They're rational numbers. They're real numbers. They're frames. A Rhodes is an abruptly long sequence of terms is A, and we don't know how long they are. I don't know if that seed germination is a week for you, a month for you, given your machinery or your home life or any other variable on that. But once you have it, you can track a standard. You can say, I do it in this box. I started at this time of the month. I do it like this. I have a calendar on how my life operates every single day, right? I did this before that, but again, New York State and all that jive, constitutional rights, social liberty is a big one. The law of the universe is, and I'll tell you this is psychology. The law of the universe says you can do anything. Oxygen to freaking gold. Here's my direct physics concept, and I can get paid for this one day. Alchemy, magic. But you'll have an aspect of social liberty. Do people understand it like that? Do you understand your conditions? Are you taking this thing that's a normal operating procedure and just going bipolar about it? Are you very anxious about the job you're about to do, or understanding to analyze something? Just use a science to break it down into smaller segments so they're easier to handle. Using a scientific process, referencing this hypothesis as a term, the name, the concept, and any given note you'll do about it is better, because most generals note things. They'll leave a ledger of their life history, the battle plans that they do in life, everything like that. So again, this is not just psychology, this is mathematics, this is quantum physics, quantum mechanics, excuse me, a little bit of both, string theory. Some are heavy elements, given the matter that massless photon has, and you understand to analyze it better as a general, to take more in depth, to add more points to it, to specialize it to the very specific things that you're trying to do. And again, you take that through the entire process. Growing corn is general relativity. It has time charts, it has nutrients, it has inventories, it has checklists, it has everything you're supposed to do when you're actually doing it right. Use YouTube. You don't believe me. A lot of these stuff go hand in hand. You got to be able to see squared to get past the curve. Catch you on the next one.